Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. Today, guys, we are working on this Fiesta. I've been looking forward to doing this, to be honest with you. It's something a little bit different for you guys to watch, for me to do and see if, you know, how it goes. But yeah, I'm really excited. These are the kind of things that I really do enjoy. Something different, something challenging, something, you know, a little bit, who gets to do this? Like, unless this is for your full-time job and this is what you do. So I'm really looking forward to doing this. I think I've got a bit of a plan. I'm not going to sort of talk about every step about doing this. Like, it's not a how-to video. It's just, I want to show you how I'm doing it and how it's been done. I'm still going to, time lapse and show all the progress, all the processes from the very start to the beginning, from the very beginning to the end. Sorry, it's still early, guys. I think it's like 7:15. So yeah, a bit early. So yeah, there is a process. I have got something in mind that I want to sort of, try and do. So whether or not we're going to get it into the car today, I don't know. Fingers crossed. Who knows? Just depends how quick it goes. Really, putting this engine back together and putting it in the car. I just don't know. So yeah, let's get cracking, and I'll give you a quick explanation of the first stages, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, let's do this. So guys, most of you said that the brightness in the workshop and the picture quality is much better, which is fantastic. That's what it's all about. It's doing these slight little improvements to make it a bit of more of an enjoyable video to watch and follow me what I'm doing. So we are on this engine. Yes. All right. The first, I think, like I said to you before in the previous video when I was doing a little bit of work on this, I'm just prepping the areas. Like, this is where the thermostat's going to sit, so I need, prepping that down and rubbing that back. This is where the manifold's going to sit, so I need to rub that down, and the other side. Like this side, you can actually get this side from the front of the engine anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We could possibly do this afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Let's get the other side done, because that's where the exhaust manifold is going to sit. This side, so you can see I've started to clean it, but I just want to do a little bit more. Just get rid of all this black crap around the exhaust side. Get that clean. And I think I've got a bracket to put over here as well. Bracket here, bracket there. That's got to go on. And then this side's kind of done really. And then we could just put the actual. Oh, actually, we'll put this on as well, so we'll swap that over. This has all got to come off, and that's got to go onto that as well, so we'll do that. What else? And then it's really just gearbox first, because I've got to get the flywheel off. And as you can see there's no flywheel. So the flywheel's got to be connected by 6 bolts. You can see the 6 bolts here. So I've got to put the flywheel on, then lock it up with my locking tool here, the flywheel, and then I can do up the bolts to the right torque settings, which I've got to find. I did have a comment yesterday just asking, how do I know what the torque settings are? Well, basically, I haven't got a manual. There is workshop manuals for all cars, all vehicles, all engines, most of them anyway, apart from Tesla. Let's not get into that. But yeah, most workshop manuals are online. You have to purchase them, but there's loads and loads of forums online on Google. If you ever need any torque settings for any sort of engine part or whatever, it's all on there. Just Google it and it will pop straight up. There's always someone talking about it. There's always someone that has spoken about it. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I don't necessarily need a lot of torque settings, to be honest with you. I need that crank, that flywheel settings for those bolts. These bolts here probably going to be like 10, 15 Newton meters, to be honest with you. And then yeah, as long as they're done up tight, then we should be all right. I've got to get the torque set in for that thermostat housing because I want to make sure that that's not going to leak here. So that's quite important as well. I think I've got that one. Because when I normally do my timing belt and what, like, I've got the torque settings for this one. I think it's 15 for the water pump. The crank bolt as well. I've got a setting for that. The tensioner bolt here, got a setting for that. So I've got a few of them. How I've done it over the last sort of, couple of times I've been doing timing belts is that I write the torque settings down. So I've got a track record. I'll just write down what car it is, the engine, the year, and then I've got a track record of the actual torque settings themselves. So yeah, that's where we are, guys. Right, let's just get cracking. I'll set you up on the tripod. Let's get some time lapsing done. Let's get the gearbox off, and then just start stripping it over. Let's do the gearbox and the flywheel first. So yeah, let's crack on. Let's do this. So guys, there we go. That is the engine and the gearbox split. And you can see that, all that crap in there. Look at all that. Like, it's just, yeah. I think it's just clutch dust, I've got to be honest, that comes off and sittings at the bottom of the bell housing. Sorry guys, I had a bit of... covered the camera. I had a bit of metal. I've just done that to get that bit of crap off there, and I put a bit of metal in my finger. I just pulled it out. So yeah, I've just pulled the oil as well. I've got to be honest, it is a little bit watery. So there is definitely a little bit of a mix in there. Not a lot, but there is a little bit in there. So yeah, it's definitely sort of heading towards overheating head gasket. I don't know what I'm doing with this engine in a minute. Whether or not it's worth it, I don't know. The cost, it will, does the cost to go take it to the skimmers to get the head skimmed, then it checked, put it all back together, and it still don't run? Is it risk? Is it too? I just think it's too worth the risk. Really, it's not worth it, is it? So yeah. So that's where we are, guys. We have got the clutch here. You can see it. It's all got to come off. We've got these bolts here. And then we've got the flywheel behind the clutch that we've got to put on the other engine. We've got the new clutch, 3-part clutch here with the new bearing, which just goes like that up there. So we'll have to swap that over, take that out, swap that over, give it a clean up. Yeah, and that'll be the gearbox ready to go into the actual engine, and then we've got to swap this over, so we'll do that as well and see how we go. So let's just keep going. I think I'm doing really well at the minute, good progress. Let's just keep going, guys, and let's see what we can get done. Let's do this. Right, guys, just want to quickly cut in there, just to explain what I've been doing. So as you can see here, we've got a new thrust bearing for the clutch. So that's all done, cleaned it all out, hoovered it all out first, then got some brake cleaner, and then just wiped it all around, just cleaned it up a little bit, makes it a little bit more better. And then I've been working on this flywheel. So I took the clutch off, the old ones here. It's not that bad actually, still got quite a lot on it. But, you know, it's a wear and tear part. And is it original? Yes, it is original. So you can see it's motocroft. So it's an original clutch. I suppose it would have carried on for a bit longer, but yeah, it is what it is. We've got a new one, so that's what's going to go in. Nice and new, and the plate as well. So, but I just want to quickly show you how I managed to undo these bolts, because they were done up tight. They were done up really tight because that's the flywheel. And they're definitely torqued up to a setting. I've got to find that setting, and I will torque it up on that one to the correct setting. But how I've done it without it moving was, you can see, this is what I use when I'm doing a timing belt kit on these Fiestas. This is what I use to lock the flywheel whilst you undo the bolt. See that bolt and that there? You can undo that bolt if the flywheel is locked on this side. And that's what I use every single time. And you can see it just kind of locks into place into the one of the teeth. And you just bolt it through here and here. That plate is slidable up and down. You slide it into the tooth. That's there, locks it up. Do it up on the other side. And that's it. It's never going to move. It's never going to sort of, you know, it's solid. So that's what I've got to do. I've just got to undo one more, which is this one here. So I'll take that off and then take that off. Then I will transfer it to that one, put the flywheel in place, do it up. And when I torque it up to the right setting, I'll use this plate as well, this locking plate, to lock the flywheel on that side, torque it up to the setting, and then that's it. Take it off, and then I can undo... No, sorry. I'm not going to... Yes, I am good. So I'm confusing myself there. Yeah, there is a process what I'm going to do, but I need to use that tool to do up this over there. Plus, I need to use that to do the timing belt and time up the engine and change the belt, change the water pump. So, yeah, there is a process that I'm trying to go through. So, yeah, next stage, we can leave the gearbox now. That's set. We're waiting for the engine to go over the top of it and we're done. The next stage is to transfer that flywheel over to that one. So let's crack on. Let's get that done and let's just keep going, guys. But so far, so good. It ain't that late either. I think it's about 8:30, 8:45, something like that. So doing really well so far. But let's keep going. Yeah, try and get this engine in today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get it in. But let's see what happens. Let's do this. So there we go, guys. That is the flywheel back on, and the bolts are in place. But I am going to remove these bolts and then put a little bit of lock thread on the end of the threads, put them back in, and then tighten them up to the correct spec. And what I've managed to get, I've got it here, lock thread. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on the bolts and do them up. So what I managed to get is a auto, what is it called? it's auto data. You see it there? And it tells you everything about the engine, what torque settings you need to use for each individual thing. You can see it there, look, steering rack, brake calipers, they've all got a torque setting. This is the one that I need. You can see it here. Cam cover, rocker cover, gasket, inlet, manifold, cylinder head. That's the plastic one at the front there. And then you've got this one, exhaust manifold to cylinder head, which is that one there. So again, it gives you the torque settings. The back one, the exhaust one is 2-stage. First stage is 20 newton meters, then the second stage is 55. Rocker cover gasket, I already know that, as 10 newton meters. And then you've got one here. It says water pump. Again, I already know that. That's 10 newton meters. There you go. And it says use new bolts, which it always comes with new bolts as well. We've got spark plugs, fuel rail, crank position sensor. Where's the? Oh, yeah, it's this side. Sorry. So over this side, you've got sump and flywheel drive plate, which is the one we need, which is 30 newton meters plus 80 degrees. So that's what we've got to do. It does say use new bolts, but we are using the lock thread. So I don't think we're going to have an issue using the original bolts there. I will give that plate a nice little rub down as well. Just give it a nice, before I put a clutch in, just give it a nice flattening off with a light bit of sandpaper. That should just make it a little bit more smoother. So that's what we've got to do now, guys. Let's take these bolts out, a little bit of lock thread. Let's get them tightened up to the correct torque settings, and then we can continue. So, yeah, just wanted to quickly show you the actual the data, the torque settings. So there we go. Let's do this. So guys, there we go. That is the flywheel done and done up to the right torque. And the clutch is in place now with the pressure plate as well. So yeah, really moving along nicely now. Obviously everything's been done up to the right torque. What was the pressure plate? I can't remember what it said now. pressure plate is here. Oh yeah, 30. So I just done it to 30 because the flywheel was 30 plus 90. So I just done it at 30 on the pressure plate. So yeah, really nice and tight, all sorted out, all done. So now we can move on to the timing. We've got it's already, the flywheel is already locked by this tool here. And that's what I use. I already lined the actual, I've already timed it up because I timed it up before and it hasn't moved. And you can see the plate is at the back here. All I've got to do is put the pin. What I'll do is I'll undo this crank bolt with the impact gun. And then put the pin at the back of the engine and it will stop it from moving. Actually, no, I'll do the pin first, then I'll do the bolt. Undo the bolt. Remove the timing belt because that then it's held. It's held by there, top, and it's held by here on the flywheel, and then it's held by another pin on the back to get the bottom end timed. So, yeah, that's where we are. Let's move on. Let's get this time. Let's get this, you know, the timing belt, the water pump. Let's get all that done now. Then we can get the cam cover on. We can get the new spark plugs in place after that, and get all that done as well. And then just basically, yeah, just keep moving on. Just keep moving forward and getting things, just getting things back together. Slowly, we're getting this engine sorted. We have got to sort of marry the engine with the gearbox as well at some point as well. I'll probably remove that one and put that engine over here, spin it around and then flick it back in place, and it should be like kind of that easy really, but we'll see. But let's keep going. Let's crack on now with the timing belt, water pump, and that side of it. And yeah, just keep moving forward, guys. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys, there we go. Loads done. Loads and loads and loads of bits and pieces put on this now. We are getting pretty close now to get this in, because the back end is done. All the bell housing bolts have been done up tight around this back. Got the gasket in place. So yeah, everything else is on the other side. I did try and fit the alternator. Where is it? Up there. But it's got that stretch belt, and I just couldn't bring it up enough to get it up and sort of fixed. So I'll have to leave that for now. I'll get someone to give me a hand in a bit. But I think... I'm saying I think because I don't really know. I think I'm ready to put this engine in. And then we can connect the exhaust at the back, get that connected, and then get the drive shafts back in place, get it all connected up, and see if she'll fire up and run. But let me go and get a crane hoist, and we'll get this craned up, and then I'll move it in place. I think a crane hoist is going to be a little bit easier to use than using pallets and lifting it up. So let me go and get that crane, and I'll come back. We'll set it up, and let's get this in place. I don't think I'm missing anything. Everything else can be put on afterwards, I believe. That's a spare one because one come with the engine. That's at the front. That's all at the front. Yeah, it's all at the front. Oh, I've got to put that heat shield on. That's got to be done first, because it goes around that. That hole goes through that wire. That wire there, it goes through that, and then it connects up. So I've got to remember to put that on before we connect the exhaust up. So yeah, let me go and get a hoist, and we'll go from there. Also, I want to quickly mention that I did clear out this heater matrix. So basically, that's the in, and then in the dash, behind the firewall there, you've got a heater matrix. So yeah, that's the in and that's the out. So I managed to sort of flush it through with some clear water, just in case any sort of coolant was left over from the previous stuff, really, just to give it a good flush through. So yeah, that's that. Let me go and get a hoist and a crane hoist, and we'll go for it. So let's do this. Right, okay, guys. So, as you can see, the engine is in. Yeah, bit of a struggle, really, I've got to be honest. I should have just done it off the hoist on the crane. And then just, because it was, like, you're sitting at an angle, and I thought, oh, do you know what I mean? It's going to be awkward, but put it on the pallet, it'll be straight and flat, and then just take it up, and then it'll be straight. But yeah, I should have repositioned the actual hook on the straps, and it would have put the engine straighter on the crane. But never mind, it is what it is. I've got it in, it's done. It's just that we've got to put all the bits and pieces now together. I've done quite a bit of it. It is definitely sort of getting closer now. All the pipe work, you know, everything's just got to be plugged back in, put in the right place. Just work out what's got to go where first and stuff like that. I've done all the gear linkages, they're in place. The clutch pipe is in place. Obviously the starter motor, we've done that earlier. Done the wiring for that. Started plugging in everything that goes sort of to there. Do you know what I mean? That's for the alternator. That one there. Don't know what that's for. I think that's for something up here, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's the plug that goes through there. So that one goes like that. Not sure about that one. It's just working out what goes where and stuff like that. But it is definitely getting in now. At least the engine is in place. You know what I mean? I can just work on it now and start just building it back in. There's nothing at the back that needs to be connected. The only thing that needs to be connected at the back is this cable here, which is the cam sensor at the top. That's got to be connected. Underneath as well, we've still got to do the engine mount, the underneath one. See, it's rocking. So we've got to connect up the underneath engine mount, take the car up, and we'll do that from underneath. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's definitely sort of getting there. I want to put the drive shafts back in place because once I've done the drive shafts, then I can put the gearbox oil in as well. So we've still got a lot to do on this car. I don't think I'm going to get this running today, unfortunately. It just, you know, I'm not rushing it. I'm just trying to get things done, double check things, check. You know, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, turn the key and she will start. But yeah, you just never know. I might have, you know, you've got to make sure you connect up all the earth straps. There's one here. There's an earth strap here that goes to this chassis leg. So you've got an earth strap there, and there's one on the top of the gearbox as well. So you just got to make sure that I'm just sort of going over things and just connecting things back up, you know, stuff like that. Still got to do the thermostat. The intake, it's got to be done as well. We've got some gaskets to put on the intake to put around as well. So yeah, we have got a few bits and pieces, guys, but it is getting there. I'm definitely happy with the progress. I know the absolute ins and outs of these 1.2 engines now, all over them. So that's good. You know, I've learnt more going forward. I've learnt other stuff as well. So if I ever needed to change an engine again, I know the process and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with the progress, guys. So I've got a bit more time. I haven't got a lot. I've probably got another hour. So let's set you up. Let's crack on for another hour. Just see how far we get, and then we'll call it a day. So let's keep going. For now, let's do this. So, guys, there we go. I'm all done. I'm out of time. So, it is what it is. But I did manage to get the intake on, connected up properly. Changed the rubbers. There's like these little round rubbers. Changed these over, all 4 of them, and done the thermostat as well. Changed the gasket over on the thermostat, got that in place, torqued that up. Got the throttle body in place as well. Started doing the connections, done all the wires, and yeah, it's all sort of seemed to be going up and back together nicely. I've got to be honest. There's not much else got to do on this top end really. Done that drive shaft, that's in place now. So I've got that one in. Need to get the other side in. Done up the bolt there as well. So that's all tight. It's all tight. So that's all ready, really, that side. Yeah. So what we've got to do is do this drive shaft, this side. Then the gearbox oil can go in. Still got to connect this mount up as well. So we'll connect that up tomorrow, next video. It won't be tomorrow, guys, unfortunately. I am off tomorrow. I'm having a day off with the family. Yeah, we're having a nice day out. Pumpkin picking, just going away and just doing bits and pieces with the family. So, yeah, unfortunately, there's not going to be a video tomorrow, but we'll be definitely back on this on Friday. So you can see, hopefully Friday, we can turn that key and this will start. Fingers crossed, guys. But as you can see, you know, you followed me from the very beginning of the day with the 2 engines over here and the pallets. You know, you've seen exactly what I've done. I think I've done okay today. I think I've done well. You just never know until she runs. I'm still a little bit sort of not sure. But I've done as much as I can. That's all I can. You know what I mean? That's all I can do to see. I know probably a lot of you are saying, well, just try and start it now. You know, put a battery on, connect the battery up, and away you go. But I just like to get on as much as I can, really, just in case. You never know. Plus, I've done the oil filter. New oil filter is in place. I've still got to just release the actual sump plug to see if there's anything in there, just to get rid of anything. Then put oil in. And there's still a load of wires that's disconnected as well. So I want to make sure all the wires are connected. Everything's sort of pushed in and plugged in right where it should be and stuff like that. But definitely progress on this. So, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me do it. Don't forget to drop me a comment. Don't forget to give me the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that very much. And yeah, I will see you on Friday. And hopefully we can get this running and done. So yeah, take care. See you soon. Thanks very much.